Hey, welcome back to the Half Thumb Homestead. Guess what I have? More pain and heartache. My Polaris is a flat tire. The axle broke. I have one of these in my pool kit that will work and replace this. So we're going to take it apart. Literally only need a big old flat tip screwdriver and a Phillips head to take this apart. To change the axle out. We'll start with taking apart this wheel. I have rebuilt this at least 3 times at about $115, $125 each time. Comes with a new base, all the new hardware, new tires, new tail. You basically just reuse the top, all the mechanisms on top. The axle's new. So to take this off, just get your screwdriver in there. I might need to get a different one. These plastic screws are just that, they're plastic, so they're really easy to damage. Gotta keep downward pressure on it. Once it gets real loose, you can generally spin it out by hand. There are a few things that every homeowner should have, pool owner, excuse me, should have in their pool kit, because this is going to break. I just happen to have one of these left over from the last time I did a rebuild on it. So that pops off the piece in the back. This is the axle that goes on here. Check your bearings. These are cheap, not too expensive, easy to replace as well. Same scenario to replace those, and then just pop them out. Slip the axle on, put your screw back on. This one's pretty disgusting. I don't know what all this gray garbage is on here, but he likes to just sit in the corner. And that's it. Just sit in the corner. That's what he likes to do. And do nothing. When you just smoke it down, you just want it tight. So I have a little play in the bearing, and I don't know what this gray stuff is. If you know what this gray stuff is, man, comment below. It's probably some kind of mold or who knows. But it's pretty gummy. Alright, so let's get into taking that's how you change the axle on the tire. Now let's get into taking this piece apart. So to take the lid off to get to these screws, we have to get the lid past these 2 tires. To do that, we need to remove the tail. You can probably leave this on, and the bolt, the bulb just screws off. Mine's old enough where I just can pull it off. This clip, I'll show you here. See how it grabs there? So what I did was I pulled the top over like so to separate it. These will break, so before you take all this apart, make sure you have one of these around. You can also use a zip tie on here or plastic tie, but it does not hold as good as this does. You can see the teeth on there. So once this breaks, you should get a new one, rather than using plastic ties. So I already screwed up. I didn't put the washer on the wheel, so we're going to take the wheel back apart again. It was part easier the second time. Some of you may be wondering, working on my Polaris is not how I lost my thumb. That's how the plastic screw should go in, and then you just give it just a little 1/16 of an inch turn or 1/8 inch turn there. That's better. Less wiggle. All right, I'll set that aside again. Let's go back to this. So let me pull off the tail, set it aside. Phillips screwdriver right down in here. Take our Phillips screw out. Top should come loose. Hardest part is getting it over the lid, the lip right here. It's kind of a tight fit. So you can actually leave the tail on, I guess, and just set it aside like this. All we're doing. We're not gonna get into all this other stuff. So take out the 2 screws for the axle. Make sure you look at which way it goes, because it will matter with the axle, with the motion shaft here. So it goes this way. You could probably use a smaller screwdriver if you want, make it a little easier. That's the axle. When you stick it on here, you'll notice if it's on the wrong way, it'll be too far forward to engage in the drive shaft there. So we're going to take our metal plate, stick it on our axle. Like so. Engage the axle into the tire, and you can see that it doesn't like that direction, so it's backwards. So we'll go this way. Goal is to get them started, and then we'll adjust the spring tension on the wheel there. Lift the front up a little bit, it drops the tire down so you can get both these screws started. So I don't tighten them down too much. I get them snug. This is the wheel that puts all the pressure on, takes the tension from the back wheel, or the front wheel, excuse me, and puts it on the back wheel. So we get motion all around. This guy drives the whole thing. The axle goes from this side to that side to drive both these wheels, and he just kind of tags along. So we want to make sure that we have enough forward tension on the axle inside here, inside the spline there. The wheel is splined. This here is where that axle rides, and it goes all the way across. You got your motion wheel inside here that spins, and the water comes in through this jet, which drives it forward. So both of these have splines in the back like this, gearing to attach it to the drive shaft. So if you're too far back on this side, the drive shaft obviously won't engage in here. So it's got to be back far enough to engage, but not too tight to cause resistance. So I pull down on the spring wheel here, and I pull forward just a little bit to make sure I got the tension on there. And I'll smoke it down. Start with the back screw. It does need to be incredibly tight. If you tighten it too much, you'll strip out the inserts, and you'll end up doing a full replacement on this thing. And that is how to replace the axle on your Polaris. Let me put our top back down here. You want to make sure when you push the top back down, if you can see I'm over the axle shroud on that one. Just want to make sure we're not. Down on top. Our screw should still be in there because we didn't take it out. Tighten it up. Your axle's been replaced. Put your tail back on. Simple. Squeeze that. Finger tension's good enough. Put your bulb back on. Put it back in the pool. And off you go. And that's how to change your axle. Half them out.